No. Hear me out. When I say it's a lot, is like I wake up and I see who posted that. Was it Tyler? I don't know. Whoever posted about the ByteDance Chinese Twitter page, whatever it was. Like I read it and I go, oh, okay. And I mull on it and I think about it. I go, well, Facebook's gonna get their change if that's true when they do come over here, and that's interesting. And I think, well, this is about the only company I could ever see doing this. If this doesn't happen, what's your path? What do you see? I think this is a good path. If ByteDance does acquire Pico and decides to come into the consumer market, it's a potential path to make a better ecosystem all around. If it doesn't happen, I don't know how long that better ecosystem takes.
Let me make one last comment on the monopoly conversation.
60 will never have a last comment on
that. I like people don't understand how problematic this is. Facebook hires 10,000 people in the XR space, and they're hiring even more. And people think, oh, they must be doing things that are really valuable. Fuck no. What they're doing is they're moating all the talent. They're moating all the talent. And people think, wow, they're trying so hard to build into the space and all this other stuff. More than anything, what they're trying to do is moat the talent. So if anybody else wants to enter our space, they already have all the talent. They're already in Facebook's ecosystem. So all these jobs, a lot of them are relatively like not valuable to the space. Like look at this Horizon Spaces. Okay. I tried. Okay, no, I made a whole notes here about my experience trying to install this thing.
Share, man. I listened to it last night, but it was long. I'd like my audience to hear it.
I won't do it then.
Go for
it. No, I won't do it. It took me 15 minutes, and then after that, I still got an error message. So, they've been working on this for 3 years. God knows how many people have been working on it. So and then they released this product, and how many people are realistically going to use this? A few hundred, maybe a few thousand at most.
Devil's advocate, though. I know you had a poor experience with it. Have you had a better experience in another work app? Because I haven't, personally. Now, I don't like any of them. I will never use any of them currently as is. So they're all unusable to me. But out of all of them, it was the best.
I won't put on a headset to work.
No, either will I.
Like this goes into the whole like hyperbole in our space. We go, I can put on a headset and I can have infinite screens. If I wear a headset and I'm working and I have this like pressure on the front of my face and I'm like sweating a little bit around my eyes and stuff like that, I'm like, fuck this, I'll just take it off. And we get so much in the conversation about how great this would be eventually, but it's just so uncomfortable that I'm not going to wear it for a long period of time. But this is why I believed in VR fitness so much. Is because when you exercise, you go, this is going to be uncomfortable. I know that it's not going to be like, I'm going to feel like I'm in a spa or something, right? I know my head's going to hurt a little bit. You get these kind of micro pains. So when you put on a headset, you're jacked in, you do the exercise, you know it's going to be uncomfortable, and you take it off and you go, damn, that was the funnest way I could possibly exercise, right? But when I'm sitting here and I'm trying to work and I have this, shit on the front of my face and it's like pulling my head down and I'm starting to sweat around my eyes, oh, fuck this. For that use case, I get it. I 100% get it. We'll eventually get there. But if the hardware is heavy and uncomfortable, it doesn't make sense.
Does anything... So arguably, like, I look at the Quest I have. Overall, as a package, it's a great package. Where I started in 2016 with VR, to have that now, I didn't expect it. I really did. Yeah. It's astronomically better than my mind thought we would be at this point. And Absolutely. Then, like, last night I listened to people talk about how everything, arguably, that they put out in the system is worse than PC or another counterpart, which, arguably, yes, in some cases is absolutely true. Can't deny it. But why does anything that comes out in VR right now even remotely need to be close to perfect? It's a minuscule amount of people who are using it right now. It will get big eventually, but all you need to do is have the suite of products that work average to better than average. And right now that is good enough to be devil's advocate.
Absolutely agree. The thing that I keep trying to emphasize here, the monopoly conversation. It's not whether or not this is valuable for a specific use case of people. It's the fact that Facebook is in here. They're featurizing every single potential vertical way before startups have a lick of a chance to get traction. So like, generally speaking, when you look at Amazon, you look at Apple, you look at all these big companies, right? They do the same shit. But what they usually do is they wait until the company's like worth $1 billion. They usually wait until, you know, like Spotify is worth billions of dollars before they do Apple Music, right? They give you lead time. They go, you know what? Someday we're gonna, you know, come in here, but we'll give you time to build. We'll give you time to, you know, be a startup, right? The problem we have in the VR space is we're tiny as hell. Our entire addressable market is 10 million people. There are only 10 million people out of, you know, billions of people on this planet. 10 million people have a VR headset. And on top of that, those VR headsets are used about 1/30th as much as their phones. So not only is it 10 million.
You're being very generous in the 1/30th.
Yeah. Well, from data I've seen, it's about the average VR user uses their headset in a month what they use their phone in, right? So small market, relatively small usage compared to phone. And Facebook is coming in here, a $1 trillion company. Before these companies are literally worth $1 million, before they're worth, you know, almost anything, and they're going, we're gonna control every single freaking vertical of this space, way before you guys have any chance, way before you have any traction whatsoever, you know, and they're just cannibalizing their entire ecosystem and be making it just, you know, and the way they defend it, and this is the way they get away with it, is they say it's a game console. Anybody who works in this space knows that VR, AR is so much bigger than games. It's so much bigger than games. But they get away with it because they go, this is a game console. PlayStation VR is closed down. You know, it's equally as hard to get in PlayStation VR. I'll admit that. Like Sony
they don't talk
rarely
to
cares.
They don't talk to anybody.
They don't give a shit about you, right? Like unless you're like
AAA,
you know, Rockstar or something, they're not going to talk to you, right? They don't care. So they basically go, well, you know, all these consoles are the same way. What do you expect differently? And we go, you guys are trying to build the future of spatial computing. You're not trying to build a fucking Nintendo Switch on your face. We know what you're doing. Why don't you let us survive? Why don't you let us thrive? You're hiring all the devs. You're undercutting every other hardware company. You're monopolizing the hell out of the space. And it's for people like me, I go, fuck it. Why am I doing this? Right? Like, why? Like, every single time I come up with a startup idea, it's, well, Facebook's just going to featureize them. So the only option that I have to stay in the VR space is to be a game developer.
Yeah.
Do I want to be a game developer? Not necessarily. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know how to build games.
You could be a utility creator and sandbag it. And the second they decide to adopt it, you got the speed advantage of creating something, getting the extras on that utility. You could sandbag it and make them look pretty bad.
I mean, does making them look bad matter at all?
I don't know, man. It sounds like you might enjoy it a little bit. But no, it doesn't. The answer's no. The answer's no.
Dude, no. I'll tell you a true story. I don't know how confidential this is, but I don't care. I messaged Facebook and I said, I know you guys are coming out. This is before Oculus came out, and I knew fitness tracker because, you know, I just knew. And I messaged them and I was like, will you guys just acquire us? Like, will you acqui-hire us? Will you make it look like I'm not an idiot for like working in this for the last 2 years? And they said, no, but we'll cover 30% of dev costs towards a game. That's what they told me. So I was like, you know,
yeah.
I was just like, but I'm not a game developer. Like, okay, like, it's just, yeah, it's they don't care, and I think they didn't expect there to be much of a blowback, because, you know, so many people in our space, they look, you know, they're the consumers and people who follow the VR space. They're not developers generally, right?
No.
And they go, well, the headset's 10 times better. It's $300. It has everything you've ever wanted, you know, and it has the top app store of anything. And they go, what the hell is your problem? And we go, well, you know, they're building this future of spatial computing, not a game store, but they're pretending otherwise. And it's frustrating. And that's one of the biggest reasons I came out, and, you know, Guy probably came out, and all these developers, like, you know, this is the reality of what's happening in our space. And yeah, to be frank, I'm honestly tired of talking about it, because
I know you are.
it's just everybody knows at this point and no one gives a shit. So
hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.